Ask any Division 1 player what made that game so good, and inevitably at some point they will talk about survival. Survival was released with patch 1.5 in November 2016, introducing a whole new genre to the loot shooter market. It combined elements of battle royale and extraction before PUBG or Escape from Tarkov even existed. But while these brand new game modes certainly added to the popularity of survival, it was something else that kept players coming back time and time again. Survival saw you fighting for your life after the helicopter you were in crash landed in New York in the middle of a blizzard. While many battle royales use storms to force players into an inevitable confrontation, survival instead uses a different mechanic to force you into the storm itself. The wounds you've received during the helicopter crash have gone septic, and you need to reach an extraction point, picking up the antivirals from your original mission before you die. And of course the extraction point is located in the dark zone, where the toughest enemies roam. Wearing only a hazmat suit, venturing out into the blizzard in itself presents a whole new danger, freezing to death. The brutal weather will kill you very quickly, and like the newer games in this genre, death will reward you with a swift exit from the game. You scurry from heat source to heat source as you try to find warmer clothes, resources, armor, or weapons. Oh yes, I didn't mention the crash left you with only your trusty pistol to defend yourself with against the roaming NPCs, so getting better gear is essential to staying alive. And with near zero visibility in the blizzard conditions and no radar, it is far too easy to stumble into NPCs. At the edges of the map where you'll be spawned in a random location, these NPCs will be low level and relatively easy to take down, but even a short firefight can be the difference between making it to the next heat source or dying in the cold conditions. These first moments in survival are some of the most tense I've experienced in any game, and it is how massive maintaining this tension throughout the game that makes survival so fucking good. While the extreme cold and the dangerous NPCs make the start a real cheek clencher, eventually you will find better weapons, armor and warmer clothes that make the blizzard more of a hindrance than a real risk. But remember that you are wounded, and the infection is slowly killing you. While you can slow down the progress of the infection with painkillers and medicine, you cannot stop it forever, resulting in an underlying sense of urgency to move towards the extraction point. And as you move ever closer to the dark zone, the enemies become stronger. Massive balance this incredibly well, the time restraint forcing you to take on enemies when you have barely scavenged the gear to do so. The tension is maintained all the way through to the point you enter the dark zone, and then, just when you think you're strong enough to take on anything, they throw in two things that take the tension to the next level. While medicine and painkillers temporarily stop the spread of the infection, the effect gets less and less each time you use them. With time running out rapidly, the dark zone becomes a frenetic race to find the antivirals, scavenge for the resources and division tech you need to craft high-end gear, and the flare gun you need for extraction. This constant time pressure can quickly turn to panic as you take on, or try to avoid, the strongest NPCs while the clock is running down, and then Massive threw in something that was just pure genius. Call for an extraction and your HUD will start glitching, letting you know that something is coming. A hunter. The hardest enemies in the division, these agent killers use skills similar to the ones you have crafted, could heal themselves and hit like a fucking truck. Let them get too close and their melee damage could take you down with one shot, and once you were down they would finish you off with an axe to the neck. From the freezing start to the incredible climax, an untimely death is always just waiting around the next corner. The tension in survival is perfectly balanced throughout the game, never letting you feel too comfortable for too long, and a successful extraction delivers a high not to be missed. Now recently some players have been comparing the now cancelled seasonal characters for the Division 2 to the survival game mode, but they miss the critical thing that made survival so fucking good. Dying ended the game, and without that, all the great tension building mechanics, including the balancing of found or crafted gear, would have done absolutely nothing.